You must proceed to your next trial immediately. I want you to interrogate 3 prisoners in the Academy jails and decide their fates. Consider each criminal's story carefully. The decisions you make will be scrutinized, so let your passions guide your judgments.
I will handle it. You'd better send someone to clean up after me.
The slave pens are right there. They have mops. Go to the Academy prison. Speak to head jailer Nash and return to me after you've passed judgment on the prisoners.
One more chirp from you, little bird, and you'll regret it.
Chirp, chirp, chirp. Ow, jerk! If you don't like that, just say so. I can do other animals too. Dire cat, frog dog, waking monkey lizard, you name it.
You, I'm Jailer Nash. I run these cells and slave pits. You're the acolyte Tremel sent for the test, right? He thinks highly of you.
Then I will repay his faith by sticking to my mission.
You should know this situation is highly unusual. Normally an acolyte goes off-world for the interrogation. Overseer Tremel had these 3 shipped in for you. He thinks you're the next coming of Exar Kun. But you ought to know, Tremel ain't the only one paying attention to you.
Let's cut to the chase.
No skin off my rump. Now, these 3 prisoners have been transferred here for your inspection. You gotta interrogate them as needed, and then decide their fate. The convicted are usually executed, or given a trial by combat to see if they're worthy. Whatever you decide, you will be the one to carry out the sentence.
As it should be. Show me to these soon-to-be-dead lowlifes.
Fine. Let's get started. This one on the left.
You freaks aren't getting anything new out of me. Just do whatever you're gonna do.
You can either talk to me or to the Inquisitors, and I promise I have a much sunnier disposition.
Get lost. I've been through this routine. I already know all your Inquisitors by name.
Let me make this plain as day. If you don't cooperate, I will kill you.
I'm not afraid to die.
Impudent to the last. As I was saying, she was sent to kill an Imperial spy in the Yavin system. Throughout her torture, she maintained that she was hired anonymously.
Get it through your damn head! I had no idea he was Imperial, and I don't know who hired me.
So, you're telling me you're not a Republic assassin?
I'm not political. I work for whoever pays.
The point is, she doesn't deny the charge. So now you must decide. Execution or trial by combat. Which do you choose?
Neither, actually. She could prove useful. Send her to Imperial intelligence.
I won't work for free.
Huh. You spared her. Interesting.
She deserves to die. I'll kill her where she stands.
Be my guest.
Just get it over with.
She faced her death well.
Too bad she didn't beg.
Please, I am a fellow Sith. Judge me with an open mind and grant me trial by combat, I beg you.
Your name, now.
Please, I am a fellow Sith. Spare me the assassin's ignoble fate. Grant me a trial by combat, I beg you.
Pipe down, scum. You will speak when spoken to.
This pile of waste is Davotech, once a valued Sith champion, until he botched an important mission and caused 1,000 Imperial deaths. Now look at him.
I served faithfully for 24 years. Then one mistake, and they threw me away. Now I have been left here to rot. Please, let me feel the weight of a weapon once more.
You're not worth the effort. Live on in shame.
Then I am misery. Languishing here is worse than death.
Huh. And I thought his disgrace had already hit rock bottom.
Who knows? With time, maybe he'll rediscover his mettle. I don't do charity work. Feel the weight of a weapon in your throat.
I die a disgrace.
Good. I won't have to look at his sad, weathered face anymore. Thank you.
And he won't have to look at yours either, jailer.
Ah, well, this last prisoner's a bit of a puzzle. He's called Breg, and he's a jittery little wretch, suspected of supplying forged documents to Republic agents. Strangely enough, he maintains his innocence, despite being severely tortured.
Nebaga imana, naki naya, bila maknam unya kamnalebek.
Come on, who would go to all the trouble of setting you up?
Nibikak nakamak. Nebaga imana, naki naya, bila maknam unya kamnalebek.
Your ramblings are falling on deaf ears. Confess and the torture will stop.
Karipaka yang naya, harakam serek mera. Nebaga imana, naki naya, bila maknam unya kamnalebek.
He's never wavered from that line, and the evidence is circumstantial. I suppose it's actually possible he didn't do it. So, what do you decide?
I think in this case we should release him. Let him go.
Mamni lebek bak manuk, meraka najaki namabamyak.
Freedom, huh? That's a new one.
I don't care if he's innocent or not. Torture him enough and he'll confess.
Shut up, you fidgety fool. The decision's been made. Well, that's that. You're an interesting one, kid. I can see why people are keeping tabs on you. Head back to Overseer Tremel. See what he thinks of your choices.
Is this everything?
Everything Lord Renning was able to obtain, yes.
Then run back to your master in the beast pens before I cut you in half. Sorry to make you wait, Acolyte. These interruptions are incredibly annoying. On to the business at hand, your test in the jails. First, the assassin, Solence. She attempted to kill an Imperial spy, but was unaware of her client's affiliation. You assigned her to Imperial intelligence. I commend you, that was excellent thinking. Never waste a potential resource.
Thank you, Overseer. I'm glad you approve.
What's more important is that Darth Barris would approve. You killed her in cold blood. Why?
She admitted her guilt. Didn't even have the sense to lie.
I understand the reasoning, but that was not the best choice. Never waste a potential resource. A trained assassin who demonstrated fortitude and amorality? The Empire could have utilized her skills. Now, the failed warrior, Devotech, he begged you to let him die fighting. You left him languishing in his cell. Why?
I thought maybe time will reawaken the lion inside him.
It should have been obvious to you that his fire cannot be rekindled. Devotech was an utter waste of space. Once something is no longer useful, it should be eradicated. Remember that. Now, Devotech, the former warrior, he wanted combat, but you struck him down. Perfect. The man was utterly useless.
I do not ever choose to waste my time.
Once something is used up, it should be eradicated. Now, the last prisoner, the Forger. Letting him go was highly questionable. Explain yourself.
It's folly to waste time tormenting an innocent man.
Innocent or not, he leaves here with first-hand knowledge of our facilities and procedures. It's potentially compromising to have him floating about the galaxy. You must always be thinking and considering every angle. Aside from a strong and skilled sword arm, that will be what impresses Darth Barris the most. Lastly, the Forger you sent back for more torture even though he seemed innocent. A strong decision. Leave no stone unturned.
I completely agree.
It's always best to know beyond any doubt. After all, what is one man's sanity or life versus the fate of the Empire? You're beginning to understand what it means to be Sith, but you're far from being able to impress Darth Barris.
I'll try harder, Overseer. I promise.
If you don't, you're doomed. Remember that.
I'm not worried about impressing Barris.
Impress him, or die. Those are really the only choices you have. But because I forced you into the Academy ahead of schedule, Darth Barris will be predisposed to judging you severely. And by severely, I mean fatally.